Good morning everybody, it's Chris here at Bluerhino Safaris. This is a quick video to give you a little bit of information on the whole WhatsApp issue. You might have seen on YouTube and several other platforms that there's a thing with WhatsApp, and you might not know exactly what this thing is all about. So I need to make this video for everybody who is contacting me on WhatsApp. Because things are going to change. So I thought let me quickly do a video for you guys just to give you a basic understanding of why I make my decision and how I see the whole issue happening. So to WhatsApp or not to WhatsApp. Let's do a quick analogy and we take vehicle safety as an example. How did vehicle safety evolve over time? In the 1900s, wiper blades were developed and patented by Mary Anderson in 1903. Before that, nobody thought it was necessary to have a wiper blade. In 1927, shatterproof came about. Up to that point, for 30 years, people have been going through pane glass windscreens and having very serious injuries. In 1947, the Tucker sedan was the first car with padded dashboards. Not airbags, just a padded dashboard. This is 50 years after the vehicles were on the roads already having accidents because they didn't really have brakes or anything at the time. In 1951, the first airbags were created. In 1966, cars built in Europe had to have front seat belts. 1966. In 1996, I think it was, in South Africa, seat belts were only required in vehicles. And the same goes for the UK. It was in the 90s that seat belts were now required. This is 90 years after the invention of the car. So it took us a long time to figure out that these things were critical. In 1979, they started testing vehicles in crash tests in the United States. In 2010, Volvo developed a pedestrian detection system. This is 110 years after vehicles came onto the road that we've gotten to a point where we had airbags, safety belts, pedestrian detection systems. We're testing cars for their safety, and we are now at a place where we can say, well, maybe vehicles are getting to a point where we can consider them safe. Now, I think into the future, driverless vehicles, all of these things are playing a role into that. Virtual safety is very much the same thing. It's on a timeline and it happens as we go. In 1990, the internet was launched. This is just 30 years ago. It's not a long time. At that time, it handled 1% of the telecoms data in the world. In 2000, 10 years later, it handled 97% of all the data in the world. The first smartphone was launched by IBM in 1994. The first social media platform, called 6 Degrees, was launched in 1997. This is only 23 years ago, so it's very recent. And then since 2002 to 2012, basically you had LinkedIn, Facebook in 2004, YouTube, Twitter in 2006, WhatsApp in 2009. Very, very recent additions to the whole thing. So looking at Facebook, in the US, Facebook were fined $5 billion in 2019 for privacy violations and instituted a new oversight and restrictions on its business. So the FTC in the US fined them $5 billion for privacy violations. This is Facebook. This is Mark Zuckerberg. This is the guy that you trust to handle your online profile. Facebook and WhatsApp is the same thing. Facebook purchased WhatsApp. There's a big case in America going on at the moment to try to get Facebook to get WhatsApp out of its holding. So why WhatsApp? What's my issues? If you go onto the privacy policy of WhatsApp of 2018, the last modified WhatsApp privacy policy, you'll see in line number 2 it says, respect for your privacy is coded in our DNA. Since we started WhatsApp, we've aspired to build our services with a set of strong privacy principles in mind. Go and check your WhatsApp, you'll see it is there, the second line of your privacy policy. If you go to the 2021 February one, which is coming up now, this new one, you will see that line is gone. They've removed the line that says privacy is coded into our DNA. Why? Because they don't really care anymore. It's now a Facebook company. They want to use your data to do certain things with. Now, if you're not a Facebook user, this should not really affect you too much, because you will not at this point feed directly into other people's Facebook profiles. However, if you are linked to someone else in Facebook, then they could have your data onto their profile via their connection. So it's not clear exactly how your privacy is going to be breached. The fact that it's going to be breached is the only thing that we know. How they want to use it is very much unclear at this point. So where are we at the moment? I think with social media, we are pretty much before airbags, before safety belts. We are still learning how this car drives. We are still figuring out that people are being decapitated by plain glass, and rather than having shatterproof. And I think the internet security has a long way to go before we can rely on companies to protect our detail. Lawsuits are ongoing. It just shows you that the companies that has the social media networks, they do not govern themselves as they should. So why move away? One, your personal data can be shared with Facebook. This has already been in place, but they explicitly want you to agree to this now. In-app ads are on the way. There's another line in the Facebook, in the WhatsApp privacy policy that says that if they decide in future to allow in-app ads, they will change the policy. So it's on the way. They've added that one in recently. In the past it said no in-app ads, but now they said if we do, we'll let you know. The antitrust lawsuit in America means that Facebook has not been operating in a trustworthy way. So can I trust Facebook? No, I don't trust them. The WhatsApp part of Facebook, well, if they are asking me for my consent to share information, and if I don't consent, I can't use WhatsApp. So they are putting a gun to my head and saying, you either agree that we can share your information, or you go. And I decide I'm going to go. So take ownership of your own safety. I'm not saying you have to move away from WhatsApp. I'm just saying this is why I'm going. I'm taking ownership of my safety online. My Facebook page, everybody that knows me knows I've been fighting against having Facebook. I've done it to create a better marketing arm for myself, but in principle, Facebook is, to me, is a bad thing. And I've cancelled my Facebook page a while back again. Whether it's off or not, I don't know yet. You know how it goes with Facebook. You can't really delete stuff. So take ownership of your own safety. Make sure that you understand what the implications are for you. And if you have a Facebook business account, read the whole policy twice. There's business data that can be shared now. And there was a quote I heard on the TV the other day which says, if a company is not selling a product, then you are the product. So be aware of this. If someone is giving you stuff for free, then you are the product. They are trying to use you to make money. So where to now? I am personally going to move over to Signal. Now, I need an internet-based comms app, because if I'm traveling in Tanzania or Zambia or somewhere else, the phone signals are not that great, and I prefer to use data. It's cheaper, it's more available, it's much easier to connect through data than it is through cell phone lines. So I need an internet-based messaging service. SMS doesn't do it for me. When I go to Tanzania and I do mass internet communications with the families of my guests, then to keep them up to date as to how we're traveling, then I need something that I can quickly and easily access to send information. So I'm going over to Signal. It is one of the more secure apps that is out there. It is encrypted. Excuse me. And I just noticed something funny where they said Edward Snowden uses Signal. So, you know, if he's still alive, then obviously nobody can figure out where he is and what he's doing. And if they do, then he's still fine. So Signal seems to be the way to go. Now I'm going to move to Signal. So if you want to contact me on a platform which is similar to WhatsApp, then WhatsApp will not work any longer in the next few days. I'm going to cancel my WhatsApp account, and I'm going to move to Signal. You can stay on WhatsApp with your friends and add Signal to it, and if you need to get hold of me, you just get hold of me on Signal, and you can stay on WhatsApp if you want to. That doesn't make a difference to me at all. But I am going to move to Signal. So if you want to get hold of me, then you will have to have a Signal account. So be careful. There's a few apps out there that's trying to mimic Signal, and don't fall into their trap. The Signal icon is similar to the WhatsApp icon, and it's on the screen now. It's that little blue call out button. So look for the app that has that one. That's the one you're looking for, and install it on your phone if you want to get hold of me on the internet communication. Will Signal be the answer forever? The answer definitely is no. Like WhatsApp, things will change. Facebook can buy them, or they can start bringing in advertisements on the platform or whatever. But we'll keep an eye on this, and as soon as we need to move and find something more secure, then we will do that. So yeah, if you are looking for me on WhatsApp in future, you will notice that I'm not there anymore. And if you need to get hold of me, either phone me on my cell phone, send me an email, or send me a message on Signal. Other than that, stay safe, have a great 2021, and I'll see you guys on a tour soon. Cheers.